Trademark Michael, one-handed.
Come from nowhere really, because I think he found about 7 or 8 tenths or something on that.
It's just a bit for me.
Hi, I'm Andrew Shovlin, and at Monaco in 2012 I was the chief race engineer.
And I'm Peter Bonnington, and in 2012 I was race engineer for Michael Schumacher.
Well, not an easy year, but the highlight, obviously the win in China, relatively early in the season, and at the time blissfully unaware that that would be one of very few highlights in 2012.
Yeah, it was a season that started to build a bit of momentum, but then all of a sudden had a couple of stumbling blocks, and then it sort of petered out towards the end. I think the highlight with Michael's side was obviously the pole position in Monaco, but then the Valencia podium was that was another unexpected. China
was so unique. It wasn't a terribly good car, that one. China just seemed to suit the car. So I remember going to Monaco not really having any hopes that we were even going to get on the podium.
No massive expectations, but it was a bit of a stumbling start, I think, to the beginning of FP1. That was when we took out, I think, 2 front wings.
That was when we ran out of front wings.
We ran out of front wings, we took out 2 of the spares, and then rapidly ended up without a front wing on the car.
If I remember correctly, that was on 2 consecutive runs as well,
yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, kept tapping the wall.
We had to fly them back to Brackley. Well, yeah, because luckily back then you had the Friday, didn't you?
Yeah, we had Friday with a clear day.
Flew them back to Brackley. Composites were busy with them.
Yeah.
Got them back then for running on Saturday morning.
Yeah. But didn't touch one after that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we went into this weekend having been at Barcelona and had a slight coming together with Bruno Senna.
Yes.
And then that meant that we handed that grid penalty for the following race. And unfortunately, that's Monaco. It made it quite a bittersweet pole.
Did that take the pressure off, do you think? Or
it could have done, couldn't it? The fact is you've got nothing to lose, so you may as well just go for it.
I'd have looked back through the times, and he wasn't actually that quick at any other point, was he?
No.
It was just that final run of Q3.
Yeah, it just seemed to click. But I mean, as always with Monaco, doesn't matter how many times you've been there, you just still need laps and laps and laps. Just got to keep pounding round, and it's just that confidence that you have to build through the weekend. But it came good in the end. Quickly tightening the belts before we start the lap. It always used to be really bumpy into turn 1. Now much smoother. And the old brake balance adjust. This is where he is super strong, into here. It really hooked up, another adjust. Trademark Michael, one-handed hairpin. DRS through the tunnel, don't do that anymore. Another V-bal adjust. This is the bit for me.
Yeah.
One-handed through the swimming pool. And just taking the right amount of curb, never too much. Otherwise you're in the wall.
We didn't leave a lot of margin, did we?
No. Yeah, that was a tidy lap. Michael, you never really had to give him encouragement. He was a motivated character whenever he was behind the wheel. So just the normal commands for what he's doing. But Michael's so experienced that he knew it off by heart.
That was the first new set of tyres in that session as well, wasn't it? So he sort of come from nowhere really, because I think he found about 7 or 8 tenths or something on that that new tyre set. But it is one of those Monaco things that when it hooks up, then the lap time just comes.
Yeah.
What surprises you when you watch those back is just how sort of manual it all worked with the brake bias adjust, because now it's all on the steering wheel, and it's easy to do. You can keep two hands on the wheel. But just how busy he was doing it. And also you can see that thing with Michael where he's always trying to use both axles to turn the car, but just getting it in the right place for every corner. But impressive how busy he always was in the cockpit.
Yeah, and a lot of those systems came from him. You know, whenever you gave him an option to say we could have this and this, he said, well, can we have that and the next thing? So
with options in between.
Exactly. It was still a special day. I've still got the overlay hung up on my wall at home that he signed to me, and just to say thanks of the pole lap. And I still look at that every day when I wander down the stairs.
When he first turned up, you know, when you were performance engineer for Jensen, I was race engineer, and then suddenly Michael turned up. I just remember how busy it was. Where you ended up with this big job list, and he'd write down all the things we needed to do overnight, and constantly getting us to do analysis during the runs, trying different things. But it was good because it's certainly a big part of the team being the team that it became. But it was just fascinating to see how different he was to any other driver. Yeah,
it sort of shifted the way that we work, and then that in turn taught Nico a new way of working. And I think that sort of rolled on with the drivers. I think every time a new driver arrives, part of that legacy just still lives on in that there's this work ethic that just keeps rolling on.